President Trump set to hold a rally in a battleground state of Pennsylvania tonight. It comes just 24 hours after he held his first rally since being diagnosed with coronavirus. Joining me now, White House Deputy Press Secretary and Deputy Communications Director Brian Morgenstern. Brian, so how's the president feeling? I'm telling you right now, what do you say, first of all, to those who think it's too early for him to be back on a campaign trail? It looks like he's having a lot of fun.
He's having a blast. He's feeling great. And, Charles, he's well above the length of time that the CDC recommends, and his doctors have cleared him. He's certainly not a risk of transmission of the virus, and he's tested negative now. The doctors put that out as well. So he's raring to go. He's wanting to visit with the American people as much as possible. They're ramping up, I think, to do multiple rallies a day. As we saw from last night, he's got his dance moves ready to go in every swing state from now to the election. So and the American people are great, so happy to see him out there.
There's two things. The crowds are absolutely amazing. You know, the media gets to complain about no mask as a way of not really reporting on the magnitude of the love out there for President Trump. Also, the schedule. Can he keep up that grueling schedule? There's no doubt it pulled him over the finish line 4 years ago, but can he keep this up?
Oh, Charles, I mean, the president is significantly older than I am. He's got about 10 times as much energy as I do. He is unstoppable, and he's a competitive guy. He knows it's important to win this race. He knows the future of the country is at stake. The radical left is still trying to remove him from office. They're still, rioting in certain places. They're trying to pack the Supreme Court. They're trying to take away fundamental rights, free speech, religion, the Second Amendment. I mean, this is a critical time, and the president knows that, and he's not going to let anything stop him from taking his message to the American people.
Brian, I want to get your thoughts on what President Trump is saying about Judge Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearing. From everything I've seen today, she is absolutely crushing it.
Yeah, she's a terrific judge. She's a terrific person, a working mom from the Midwest, a wonderful symbol for our country, for young women, someone to look up to, and a fair-minded judge who will interpret the Constitution as written, which is really what all Americans should want in a justice. The president has made a superb choice. She's demonstrating just how great a choice she is through her conduct in these hearings, and it's really a testament to kind of how far off the deep end the left has gone, that this position that we should uphold our fundamental rights and interpret the Constitution as written, the fact that has become controversial for the left is really a critical fact here.
It's so interesting as someone who's reading a teleprompter for a living to watch all these lawmakers try to do it, as she just has a notepad with a little note at the top and everything else is straight off the top of the head. If I've got time, I want to ask you about this before I let you go. Two big losses for Democrats in two cases challenging voting rules, one in Georgia, one in Texas. The judge in Georgia ruling against a proposal to relocate the voting machines in Texas. A federal appeals court reinstating the order of absentee ballot drop-off sites. The governor there had made it limited fewer. We see a surge in early voting. How critical is this to the outcome, and will it add to any controversy?
Look, Charles, as the president has been very outspoken on this, it's really important that we have one person, one vote, and that the votes are being cast by citizens who are legally permitted to vote, that it's not people who have passed away, or it's not people ballot harvesting in a way that's, collecting ballots. We saw some investigation in Minnesota about ballots being purchased. I mean, goodness, this is scary stuff. The president's been trying to shine a light on these things and encourage poll watchers to go out there and make sure that we're having a fair election. It's really critical that whoever wins this race is the duly elected president. That's a really important thing, and the president's going to keep speaking up on that.
All right, great. Hey, man, and Brian, great seeing you. Thank you very much. We'll talk to you again very soon. And